From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. We are live from Pike's Waterfront Lodge.
Absolutely, as we celebrate KTVF's Diamond Anniversary. Thank you for joining us. Well, let's get right to it. Our top story this evening, the University of Alaska Fairbanks announced it will cut $20 million from its budget this coming year.
That's right. The cuts come as the University of Alaska system faces declining state funding. In a detailed budget plan released yesterday, UAF academic programs plan to slash 68.5 full-time positions as well as 17 teaching assistants and adjunct facility jobs. Cuts also include 150 eliminated positions, which will reduce campus services and widespread consolidation. This is the third year UAF has dealt with major budget gaps, which now total more than $42 million. UAF spokeswoman Marmion Grimes says the plan going forward is very broad, with small cuts taken across the whole university rather than one large cut in a particular unit.
To see some changes across campus because we spread the budget cuts across campus, and so there may be fewer sections of some core classes. For example, there may be slower response time for processing paperwork and things like that. It'll be more subtle probably than a vertical cut, but yes, I think people across campus will see the effect.
And litigation continued this afternoon in the post-conviction relief case of a group of men known as the Fairbanks Four. Representatives for the four men were present in Fairbanks Superior Court, as well as prosecutor Adrian Bachman. The reason was to discuss evidence in the case and whether or not the state mishandled the alleged confession by Bill Holmes. The prosecutors argued to Judge Paul Lyle that they had no obligation to hand over a penned affidavit they received from a California correctional officer that implicated Holmes in the murder in 2011. The defense countered that argument, further saying that they had known about the confession and supporting statement by the officer. They may have had time to use other statements they had since corroborated. We will have the full story on the hearing tomorrow.
Trial for a Venetine man accused of killing his brother has been delayed due to evidence issues in the case. 20-year-old Chance Eric was indicted earlier this year on 2 counts of murder by a Fairbanks grand jury. It's alleged that Eric clubbed his brother in the head with a large stick. Earl Eric Jr. was found unconscious and later died at Fairbanks Memorial Hospital. Now today, both sides met in Fairbanks Superior Court and details regarding evidence were brought to light. Defense attorneys for Chance Eric argued they have been unable to receive valuable evidence in the case, a necessity to prepare their defense strategy. Eric's trial has already been delayed until August. Now the two sides will continue in evidence hearings next week to determine if there have been violations made in the case.
A federal judge in Alaska has ordered Greenpeace USA to pay $2,500 an hour for every hour that protesters continue to block a Royal Dutch Shell icebreaker from leaving Portland, Oregon for the Arctic. Judge Sharon Gleason ruled today that Greenpeace is in civil contempt because of protesters dangling off a bridge in Portland impeding the Shell vessel. In May, Gleason granted Shell's request and ordered activists protesting the company's Arctic drilling plans to stay away from Shell vessels. Alaska Governor Bill Walker urged Mayor Hales of Portland and Governor Kate Brown to stop the illegal activities that are blocking Shell's vessel from departing for Alaskan waters.
Yesterday, during a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing on the Iran nuclear deal, U.S. Senator Dan Sullivan pressed members of the administration about the so-called sanctions, quote, snapback that the administration has been touting as a powerful tool in the nuclear agreement recently negotiated with Iran. First, Senator Sullivan urged Secretary of State John Kerry to cease using the term snapback, saying it isn't in the agreement. As an Assistant Secretary of State, Sullivan helped in efforts to economically isolate Iran. Now, he says that wasn't a snap and the term is misleading. He said there is a lot of win-win for Iran in the current agreement.
Those of us who were involved, I was in the Bush administration, are getting countries to actually economically isolate Iran. We used a lot of leverage. We did use leverage with countries saying, hey, you either are going to be in their market or ours. And that was effective. But it goes to this idea, if there is some kind of snapback, that was a slog. That wasn't a snap. That took years to get countries to divest out of the Iranian economy. It'll take years to do it again.
All right, when we come back, the Fairbanks Police Department is reminding locals to drive safely, especially when winter arrives. We'll have the details.
All right. Also, it's time for another edition of our backyard barbecue. This time, Daryl, it's your favorite. It's all about the beans.
Oh, beans.
All right. Stay tuned. We're coming back at you.
And welcome back. It started to rain. All right, continuing our news, the Fairbanks Police Department is reminding drivers to be cautious on the roads, especially when dealing with dangerous weather conditions. Now, Patrol Supervisor Sergeant Kurt Lockwood says the drivers need to be aware of others around them. He adds that people should also go slower on the road during rainy conditions. Heavy rain could impede the vision of drivers, and vehicles with low tire treads also have a chance of hydroplaning, which will cause a loss of control on the road. Low tire treads on the road are also illegal in the state of Alaska. Lockwood says planning ahead and giving extra time for travel to a destination is crucial to lowering the chances of an accident. He asks that if anyone sees an erratic or impaired driver to call the Fairbanks Police Department and report the incident.
We catch several a week, and they are potentially people that are driving in such a manner, whether it's drugs or alcohol, or they're driving so dangerously that they have great potential to kill people. We need all the support we can get from the community. We can't always catch everyone. We'll be there as fast as we can and catch the ones that we can.
Coordinators at the Stone Soup Cafe are looking for volunteers to help build more raised beds and an information booth for the Stone Soup Garden this Saturday. Now, the Stone Soup Garden is located on Lacey Street between 11th Avenue and 12th Avenue. The garden is a new addition to downtown Fairbanks. All produce grown there will eventually go to the Stone Soup Cafe, which feeds people in need on a daily basis. Coordinator Aubrey Pierce says Stone Soup is looking for volunteers and donations 2x4 and 4x4 wood to help add to the garden. Now, she adds that those interested in participating can come on down this Saturday from the hours of 11 a.m. until 3 p.m.
We'll have a brief orientation at 11 a.m., but if people can't get here right at 11, then that's fine, anytime between 11 and 3. And help with the building and the filling of the beds, and also just doing our regular weeding, watering, harvesting, things like that.
And now let's see what's cooking at Big Daddy's in our weekly backyard barbecue.
Hi, Steve Moody here from Big Daddy's Barbecue for another segment of Backyard Barbecue. Today we're going to do a staple of most barbecues, barbecue beans. So you want to start with a name brand bean. You can use a vegetarian, you can use a pork and beans. You want to use a whole can. You're going to use 1/3 cup of molasses, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, a teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/2 tablespoon of dried mustard. You want to add in some onions and some peppers, about 1/2 pepper, 1/2 red pepper, 1/2 green pepper, and about 1/2 onion. I just do them julienne style and add them in there. And you're going to take some of your pulled pork. You can use your brisket, whatever leftover meats you have. Put that in there for some extra flavor. You want to stir that up good. Make sure it's mixed well. So once it starts melting all your sugars down and gets your flavor all through your beans. Now you can just throw that right into your barbecuer. Cook for about 2.5 hours. As you can see, you start to get them rich, dark flavors, and all your sugars melted in there, give you great flavors. You can check out all the recipes at webcenter11.com.
And we'll laugh and be happy at the backyard barbecue.
Brought to you by Big Daddy's Barbecue.
All right, well, we've lucked out to this point. It just started raining.
That's right, but I can't get my mind off those beans. They're so magical.
I told you, I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, they're great.
Okay, so since it's raining, it's time to give it to Joe, let him get a little wet. And he's up next with sports. There's been a change on the Ice Dogs coaching staff, and he has that story.
All right, Joe Cook after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. We're here live at Pikes Landing for the 60th anniversary of KTVF. How about that? We'll get on to sports for your local Thursday Sportscast. I'm Joe Cook. Fairbanks Ice Dogs, they're in the midst of change after the summer's draft. There's been a change to their coaching staff. Here's more on the latest on the Ice Dogs.
After 2 seasons with the Fairbanks Ice Dogs, assistant coach Paul Kirkland is headed to the college ranks. Kirkland joins Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut as an assistant. His new gig is a short drive to his parents' house as well. The Trinity Bantams won the NCAA Division III national title and went 25-3-1 last season. Kirtland, who played for the Ice Dogs from 07 to 09, was grateful for his time in Fairbanks.
Had some things in the works, had some things going, and then all of a sudden, kind of this Trinity thing, it came out of the blue, and within about 3 or 4 days, I was offered the position. You know, like the guys always say, once a dog, always a dog, and Fairbanks will always be a special place in my heart, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was tough losing Paulie. We had kind of been through it before, losing Coach Bo Perlant down to Kenai. But it's all about advancement, not just for the players, but for us as a staff as well, and looking for different opportunities.
Kirtland's replacement is Scott Doerr, who comes in from Division III St. Mary's University of Minnesota. The Big Rapids, Michigan native played for the Cardinals for 4 seasons. Doerr played for 3 NAHL teams, including the Kenai River Brown Bears in 2008.
I think he's aged beyond his years. He's a young guy, but I think he's pretty mature. He's been around the block. He's gone to Culver Military Academy, discipline structure. I think he's going to add another dimension to the program. I think him and Coach Stewart will make a nice combination.
We'll start to see how the changes to the coaching staff and the roster pan out. Ice Dogs training camp starts Sunday, August 30th. Joe Cook reporting.
The Alaska Gold Panthers were clinging to a 1-run lead late against the Peninsula Oilers, but they used some late-game heroics, and they came out with the win. The Oilers defeated the Gold Panthers 5-4 Wednesday night in Coral Seymour Park. Ted Boakey hit a 2-run walk-off single in the bottom of the ninth to clinch it for the Oilers. Boakey went 3 for 3 for the Oilers. Alaska rallied from an 0-3 deficit and used a 4th spot in the 5th to take the lead. J.D. Hearns, he went 2 for 3 and scored a run for Alaska in the loss. The Gold Panthers will wrap up their series against the Oilers with a doubleheader tonight. Alaska will travel to Anchorage to wrap up their summer season in a final series against the Bucks. And now the Alaska Legion baseball season is over for our local baseball teams, but a few players, they were recognized by the league. 6 local players were named to the Alaska Legion AA Baseball Team of Excellence. The Alaska Wild and Fairbanks 49ers landed 3 picks for the Wild. Mike Fitzpatrick led Alaska batting .448. He scored 22 runs, drove in 15, and played 4 different positions. Ben Hall, he stole 5 bases, hit .328, and tallied 13 ribbies for the Wild. Hall and Fitzpatrick are headed to the University of Ozarks in Arkansas. Terrell Ford, he hit a team-high 18 ribbies for the Wild while batting .365. He also hit 3 home runs. Now for the Fairbanks 49ers, Tyler Hill, he made the team of excellence as a starting pitcher. The North Pole product, who's enlisting in the Air Force, carried a 1.6 ERA into the state tournament. Trent Chu, a first baseman for the 49ers, and pitcher Casey Lewandowski were honorable mentions. Both the Wild and 49ers won at least 10 league games this summer, and they both got the last 2 playoff spots of the Alaska Legion State Baseball Tournament. And since we're on the Chena River by Pikes, it's appropriate to have a water sports story, right? Well, recently Beaver Sports, they had their final race, a canoe race, the final one of the summer. The boat set sail, in a sense, on Tuesday night. The race started at Grill Landing and ended at Pump House Restaurant. The final times were pretty close. The duo of Eli Sturm and Eric Soley won the race in 1 hour, 12 minutes, 47 seconds under the name Elias Enterprises Community Outreach. Thunderbatch was right behind them in 1:13.06, almost 19 seconds later. John Shower, who won the second canoe race, came in third with Old Dog No New Tricks in 1:13.31.
A few boats. It was pretty quiet out there, honestly. We were just trying to keep up with John Shower. He's paddling that red kayak and trying to keep everything smooth, not roll the boat, have a good time.
It's kind of a weird sport, though, because it's not really using your whole body. It's not like running where you just die. I mean, canoeing, you can be paddling really hard, take 2 seconds of rest, and you're really back at it. I don't see a huge money pot at the end of this rainbow, but yeah, it's a good time.
And that's it for sports, but stick around. Mike Schultz is coming up next with your full weather forecast. Stay right here for more of our 60th anniversary right here on Channel 11.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. What a difference 24 hours makes. We were looking at big storms last night. Today we had one this afternoon, and then all of a sudden things are starting to clear out, and the weekend is still looking pretty good. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Let's take a look at our photograph for tonight. This one is a very nice photograph. This one's sent in by Robert Marzak. We'll call it Wicked Sunrise, as you can see why, because the colors, once again, are looking very orangey and red, and again, a gorgeous shot. And as always, if you have a photograph you want to share, by all means, send to photos@ktvf11.com. Right now, 66 degrees, that's our high for the day. The low last night, 52. The record high, 90 degrees in 1977, down to freezing in 1929. The sunrise and sunset working out to about 18 hours and 25 minutes, a loss of 7 minutes from yesterday. And the barometer is starting to rise. That's a good sign. On the satellite and radar, you can see some of the showers moving across from the west to the east, while the rest of the state looks pretty good for the most part. A lot of rain still moving over Juneau and Ketchikan, and that shows up on our next map. As you can see here, we're looking at about temperatures close to 60 degrees for Juneau and Ketchikan, and then also a little bit of shower activity around the Anchorage Bowl, partly cloudy skies at Kodiak, and also cloudy skies around the Cold Bay area. Up and down the west coast, looking close to 60 degrees at Nome. A little warmer in Barrow today, 49 degrees, and Fort Yukon at 55. Well, heading down to the lower 48, temperature-wise, again, we're talking about some very hot temperatures. In fact, we're going to be heading down there and talk about a record high temperature in Seattle, 94 degrees today, while up and down the west coast, looking around Las Vegas at 106 to 106 at Phoenix and Las Vegas, 93 at Salt Lake City, Denver, 91. Dallas over 104 degrees, 85 at Minneapolis, 92 degrees at Seattle, I should say St. Louis, and over the northeast 92 degrees in New York, while Washington, D.C. 92, and 90-degree temperatures with thunderstorms over the deep south. As far as what's going on a satellite and radar, well, once again, we're going to be talking about most of the energy focused over the southern half of the country, right around the Florida Peninsula and the Gulf Coast states. More storms moving across parts of Texas. And over the southwest, we have the monsoon going on there, bringing showers and thunderstorms over even Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and Phoenix. And that's something they need, except for maybe lightning strikes. That's something they don't need. And a heat wave is forecast to continue for Friday and Saturday. Look at the temperatures. Once again, Seattle, 94 degrees. Portland, 102. 109 degrees in Medford, Oregon. And Boise and Spokane looking at temperatures close to 100 degrees too, as the northwest and the west swelters. Why? Well, because the jet stream remains way to the north. And when that happens, that allows all that hot air to come up from the tropics and just bathe the west coast in a lot of hot temperatures. More scattered showers and thunderstorms again across the deep south. And as far as Alaska is concerned, for the northern sections, cloudy chance of rain in Barrow, mostly cloudy skies at Nome, and isolated showers for Fort Yukon with a temperature of 71. Here in the interior, things are looking a lot better. A few showers for Fairbanks and Healy, and isolated thunderstorms for Delta Junction. And over the southeast, well, the rain's going to continue. Showers expected for Juneau, and showers could get heavy in the Ketchikan area. Again, temperatures near 60 degrees. Over the southwest part of the state, mostly cloudy skies at Cold Bay, partly cloudy skies for Bethel, and also partly cloudy at Kodiak. And if you're heading on down the Anchorage Bowl, not too bad. Isolated showers at Anchorage, mainly partly cloudy to partly cloudy skies in Homer and Valdez. It's a Thursday night, which means it's time for our fishing report. Brought to you by the good folks at Life Med Alaska. In the Valdez area, halibut fishing is running great, and the silvers are becoming very plentiful in the entire bay there. On the Kenai River, king fishing is now allowed, and the Kenai River and reds are coming in too. And on the Matanuska Valley, chum and pinks are strong on all the park's highway streams. So good fishing this weekend. So our forecast for the remainder of the night in the Fairbanks area, looking at cloudy skies, widely scattered showers, 55 degrees, no thunder expected. Tomorrow, 72 degrees, partly cloudy skies with isolated showers. And then also looking at extended forecast for Saturday, near 70 degrees. Then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, again, temperatures the low to mid-70s. Overnight lows will be in the mid-50s. No precipitation in the forecast. It looks like a great weekend shaping up, guys. And we just had a few sprinkles here, but not like it was last night by any means.
Definitely not, and it's still sprinkling.
Yeah, the wet looks in, though.
Yeah,
so that works.
We're not sugar. We're not going to melt.
This was fun. We got to do this more.
This was fun. Happy 60th anniversary to everybody.
Yeah, to KTVF. We've got a lot of KTVF veterans here with us celebrating as well. From not only the sales team, but from just the control ops and also news team as well.
And by the
have
way,
to thank our salespeople.
we love Alaska.
We love Alaska,
We
of
do
course
love
we do.
Alaska.
We love all the people here behind the camera. They're actually
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and thanks to our sales team for putting this event together. They do such a great job.
Wonderful. All right, guys.
Jacob, you
I
did
got
well.
bugs flying all over me.
Well, that will wrap up this special edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
And be sure to stay tuned for the NBC Nightly News coming up next.
As always, you can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at western11.com.
Alrighty, from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a good night.
Good night.